Tessa Blanchard, someone we've not talked about in a while, has apparently had preliminary talks.
She's nuclear heat.
Wow, well, we'll be getting onto that. Don't you worry. She's apparently had preliminary talks about returning to TNA. So you tell me if I'm wrong or right here first, but one of the most talented women out there, probably the most loathed active woman in real life, and also one of the most difficult to work with. Is that a good summation of Tessa?
I've only met her once. I didn't work with her. But I've heard these things about her. She's very talented, stubborn, strong-willed, and they've done some things with her that I totally disagree with. But what came out when she used those racial slurs or whatever she used, you don't get over that overnight. It's been, 3 years?
Longer, 5, 2019, apparently.
Wow. So, but anyway, what were you asking me? Is any of those things deserved?
Well,
she's a smart ass too, I heard.
Aren't we all? That shouldn't go against her. Anyway, the thing that Tessa's most famous for, at least in ring, I guess, is that she won the Impact, as it was still called Impact, it wasn't TNA at the time, Men's World Heavyweight Championship in what was probably one of the most controversial, high-profile booking decisions of modern times. She was then fired while she was still Impact champion because she apparently refused to send in taped promos from Mexico where she had quarantined during the initial COVID outbreak and has been with a couple of exceptions. Persona non grata ever since. At the time, she defeated Sami Callihan, which hardly did wonders for his career either. Or the belt or anything.
Hey, listen, this women competing as men or men competing as women, why even have different, if you're going to do that, why even have a different classification? Just have them all just compete for one belt. But a woman beating a man, really, you can say what you want to, I don't think it's believable at all. Now there's probably a lot of women that can beat men in several things, but by and large, she's not that big. Sami Callihan was supposed to be like a crazy guy, but for her to pin him or beat him for the heavyweight championship, and it didn't distinguish men or women, did it? They just had a title, but they had a women's title too. I don't know. Mm-hmm. No, I would have never done that because I think it makes people. I think that it makes them back up and say, do they think I'm stupid?
It's a leap too far.
I think it is. Now, that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, I don't care. You can have your opinion too. But if you're going to have a woman beat a man in his own division, in a men's division, why even have a woman's division? See what I mean?
Mm.
I mean, if you talk about this, oh, you're this and you're that, and you're anti-transgender, and I don't give a crap. I don't. But I don't know. You got me going again, and don't get me started on this because I won't shut up about it.
We'll stick about the intergender matches. They seem to really catch on for whatever reason, like the mid-2010s on the indies, and it just seems to be constant. And I always thought they were unbelievably stupid, and at some point you have to, I mean, we all have to suspend our disbelief when we're watching wrestling to a point anyway, because we've all seen UFC. And the whole style is different anyway with wrestling and real fighting. But then you've got a 200-something pound man fighting a 120-pound woman. And where's the entertainment in that? Because you can't suspend your disbelief. It's weird seeing men elbow women in the face.
Well, I remember I was in TNA. You couldn't even look at a woman because of Spike TV. Oh, don't you even make a suggestion about hitting that woman. Oh, they would go nuts in the corporate office. if you even thought about it. So, but now they're not on Spike anymore. But that was a network decision that we got to, and I agreed with it. Yeah, I did agree with it. But there are some things you could take, say a man abusing a woman, and then somebody take up for him, or two women get up and they team up on this guy. Yeah, now you got a reason for it to happen. But her going in and beating a guy, nobody. See, we suffer from a lack of believability to begin with. And now you have a woman beating a man, Sammy Callahan, who's presented as a pretty tough guy. Nobody believed it. I don't think you could draw a dime with that or a rating at all. Now, you take Gunther, the way Gunther is, people believe he'll go out there and just beat people up.
Put a wig on Gunther.
Oh, yeah. And some Hooters.
Yeah.
Put some Hooters on him, maybe get his hips out a little more and shave his legs. Now we make him presentable for this TV show.
Where's Sammy Callahan when we need him? He's actually back in TNA.
That's the thing about wrestling. I've seen some really, really crazy ideas. But if you don't have anybody to pull you back, or we don't have any rules for it, really. Oh, well, you can't do this. You can't. It's just all made up on the spot most of the time anyway. But if you get something, okay, let me tell you a more believable matchup. Amazing Kong or Awesome Kong versus Sammy Callahan.
Yeah.
I would have believed that. Well, not believed it, but, it would be more believable.
It doesn't strain credulity as much.
Well, I think she could go out there and do her stuff and get it over. People say, well, he won't walk through Awesome Kong like maybe he did some other women. But every instance is different. But I think putting the belt on, what was her name again?
Tessa
Blanchard. It wasn't a good idea. They didn't draw anything from it, right?
Impact was absolutely dead on the vine at that point anyway.
This was when Dixie Carter was still in charge, right?
No, this is a post-Anthem purchase. So this is 2020. So this is after you were there for that year in catering. Do you know who was good without this size? Do you know who was really good at intergender matches that you could sort of believe? It was Jackie. Miss Texas?
Oh, yeah, she was. Because she used to beat the shit out of Jeff Jarrett. Punch him, and I mean, Miss Jackie is tough. And you believed her. Because I was there when she came through in Memphis. And she was tough then. And that is one girl that I think that she could hold her own in a fight. A real fight. She's tough.
We're going to go back to Tessa again because there's something I want to add. So, apparently Tessa, and you tell me if you've heard this story or not, is that Magnum TA, who's her father-in-law, I guess, or uncle-in-law.
What is the relationship there?
Something in law is what they are.
Yeah, okay.
So, apparently Tessa had met all her contractual demands, this is according to Magnum, and Impact were paying her like crap. So, his advice to Tessa was to offer to do one shot at a comparable price to what a top male star was earning, considering she was their champion. And Impact turned around and said, get stuffed, and then they never invited her back, and then took the title off her, which if, giving their world title to a woman wasn't bad enough, then they stripped her without her even losing. I mean, if it could have been any more devalued, that was pretty much what it was. Tessa...
TNA did this?
Oh, God, yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
She only has wrestled occasionally since until late 2023, where she has been a regular in CMLL. So, 2024, you think it's the right time to bring Tessa back anywhere?
They can try it and see what happens. Again, I'm not the arbiter of this. I'm not the booker of it. I'm guessing. And was she over before all that those problems? I heard that she was hard to work with. I did hear that.
I think her in-ring capabilities have always been thought of very highly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, according to the story they give her. If you give her a compelling story, yeah, she'll work. If not, that's why her past will take over. Because if her current stuff is not worth talking about and thinking about, well, the first thing they're going to jump to is her sordid past and bring that up. She's from a wrestling family anyway, so how old is the girl?
Late 20s still.
Mm-hmm.
Like 28, 29, something like that, I think.
But she will never be used in WWE, you think?
Depends.
I think her past would, not allow that.
I don't know. They've had like burglars and MVP there and stuff like that, haven't they? So, someone's past is someone's past. I mean, enough time goes by, then I'm sure that more or less.
Yeah, but see, the more time that goes by, she gets older too.
Yeah, but she's 28 now. I mean, that's really getting into prime age now. So, who knows? We'll
see.
We'll see.